Welcome back to the Abundance Alchemist, your quiet space to remember who you are. Tonight, we trace the tender shimmer between fear and possibility, where doubt hums like soft thunder behind your ribs, and yet, inside that ache lives the gold you came here searching for. You know that feeling, the hush that falls when life wants to hand you more, but your heart hesitates, a gentle trembling, a sweet worry that maybe this time you're not ready or worthy or quite enough. Like waiting at the edge of a wide, moonlit river, toes curled in cool sand, wondering if you can really cross. This gentle resistance, the quiet voice that questions, the ancient reflex that braces, the churning you feel right before something shifts, it's here to be loved, not conquered. Doubt is not a locked door, it's an invitation. A secret garden gate left slightly ajar. If you listen closely, you'll hear the truth. Doubt was never meant to make you small. It's only ever wanted to show you the edges of your gold, to remind you of all the undiscovered places shining deep beneath your surface. Each time doubt flickers in the dim corners of your mind, it's not the end. It's the echo of a beginning, a whispered longing to remember how light you've always been. Tonight, as the world softens into darkness, let this be your permission to feel it all. Hold out your hands and gather every hesitant thought, every what if, every gentle ache of wanting more than you've allowed. You are not broken for hesitating, you are sacred for daring to dream. In the moonlit hush, you are more than enough, you are possibility waiting to be awakened. Let this night be the soft landing you crave. Let your doubt become the gold that lights your way home. We begin, as always, by simply remembering there's a secret tiredness you almost never name, the kind that slips into your cells when you stretch toward being more than you are over and over every day. Do you know it, that ache beneath your ribcage, the gentle, haunting hunger that whispers, maybe just one more meditation, one more book, one more vision board, and I'll finally feel right. You feel it late at night when the world grows quiet but your heart aches on a soft, persistent ache for something holy and whole. It isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a halo of heaviness, a sense that whatever you do it might not be enough. So you keep going, another ritual, another affirmation, another urgent reaching toward a brighter self just out of reach. You wonder if others see it when you smile, the careful hope in your eyes, the silent wish that all this effort will finally unlock rest from the longing. It's a weariness invisible to everyone except the gentle part of you that still believes. Maybe if you try a little harder, you'll be worthy, chosen, settled. But there are moments, rare and real as rain in the desert, when you feel how tired you truly are. A weariness that isn't just in your bones, but wrapped around your spirit, like a story you've heard since childhood. Keep climbing, keep polishing, keep striving for more light. Yet sometimes more light means pushing away your own shadow. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you could do is lay down, right where you are, and let the longing simply breathe tonight, even if you are listening because you want the pain to end. Let the ache be seen, not fixed. Let the part of you that is bone-deep tired be met without judgment or remedy or shame. Here, in the hush between breaths, what if nothing was required of you? What if the only thing you needed to do was be, and let that fragile, ancient longing finally settle beside you like a loyal animal at rest? You are not broken for feeling this ache. You are simply alive, still reaching, still remembering the beauty you are made of, no matter how far away peace feels. Tonight, as you surrender to sleep, let your longing soften. Let it be held by something older than striving, kinder than self-improvement, something like grace wrapping itself around you in the dark. Sometimes it's hard to put words to what aches quietly in our chests, that slow humming ache that's not just loneliness or uncertainty or the longing to be completed by someone else. It's older, softer, more sacred. It's the desire to feel genuinely held, every last shattered or nearly perfect piece of you, the way you once imagined falling asleep as a child, certain there would always be someone just beyond the curtain, keeping the monsters away with their steady presence and their whispered promises that you are enough just as you are. You remember that feeling, don't you? Maybe not the details or the faces, but the warmth, the cradle of safety, the sense that you could grow wild and unhurried within yourself, never once fearing you were too much or somehow not enough. But life, with all its busyness and brightness, has a way of making longing feel like absence instead of sacred invitation. Some days the world offers 1,000 mirrors, but none truly reflect the weightless belonging you secretly crave. So you carry on, collecting encouragement from books, small recognition from friends, tiny almost prayers whispered to a ceiling in the dark. You carry on smiling and bending and reaching toward a sense of being finally known. And in quiet hours, the longing returns, not sharp but gentle, like soft rain longing to be absorbed by dry earth. There is nothing selfish in wanting to be held, nothing childish in craving guidance. It's not greed, it's not immaturity, it's the echo of something original, something holy. You want to belong not outwardly but to the silent world inside you, the one that keeps asking, am I seen? Am I real? Am I truly fully enough? And maybe part of you thinks it's too late or too complicated, or that you're supposed to figure out how to hold yourself entirely alone. But tenderness is not a problem to solve. Desire is not a flaw to fix. The ache itself is proof that some secret inner part of you remembers a time, a place, a feeling when nothing was missing. And belonging was the most natural thing, like grass leaning into sunlight, like skin warmed beneath thick blankets on a stormy morning, like laughter echoing through an open window, safe and unguarded and good tonight. As you rest and listen and dream, it's safe to let that desire rise up and breathe no judgment. No labels, just the soft, honest truth that you want and you are wanted to. Let your longing speak. Let it shape a new story in the silence. Let yourself remember what it feels like to be fully held, fully guided, utterly, deeply, divinely enough. Sometimes the deepest ache comes quietly. It does not shout or storm through your daylight, it lingers beneath, like the hush after someone gently closes a door, like the absence of a laugh you miss before you even remember missing it. There is a weight to it, not a boulder, but the hollow press of something missing. You sense it when you almost let yourself hope, when you picture hands open to receive and then, as if on cue, curl your fingers inwards, gripping only empty air. The fear of being unworthy, it's ancient, isn't it? It is a whisper sewn into the hem of childhood. Perhaps it's older than your name, older than memory. It follows quietly, casting shadows on all the places you want to trust most. Love, freedom, more than enough. You remember moments, words unsaid, glances that grazed past you, rewards that went elsewhere. The body remembers too, the ache in your chest, the way your breath catches at the doorway of plenty. The way you almost ask for more but decide, maybe less is quieter, maybe less is safest, maybe less won't hurt. Desire does not disappear, though. It drifts and dreams, pressing its palms against the windows of your heart. It watches others let abundance in, wondering if you were meant to stay outside, a visitor in your own life. You know how to celebrate others. You have memorized how to cheer from the crowd. But stepping onto the stage of your own becoming feels like a secret you're still waiting to be handed. Sometimes, in the soft dark, you replay all the reasons you might not have earned it. The story says, love must be proven. Goodness must be perfect. Wealth must be deserved, and you must be better, quieter, more grateful first. You call abundance by every other name because enough for me feels like a tongue you are still learning. You keep watch. You shrink a little around your desires, tucking them away like folded letters never sent. Receiving feels exposed. Worthiness is a wilderness. Your heart is tender, but you pretend it is armor. And so the fear grows in secret gardens, watered by doubt, blossoming into shapes as familiar as your own face. Yet you notice beneath it all a thrum. It is not resistance, it is not surrender. It is the ache of remembering the song of more, the music that was never really lost, just quieted, waiting for the moment you are soft enough, tired enough, true enough to finally listen. There's a place inside you, soft as dusk, where hunger and hope tangle. Sometimes it visits before sleep, a question sliding beneath your ribs. Why do I keep circling this same ache? You want what you want so much it's almost holy. A clarity, belonging, abundance that feels like exhale after a held breath. But every time you reach, something unseen tugs your sleeve, pulling you just shy of the thing you long to hold. It's tender, this loop. You set intentions by lamplight, you dream, you map new futures on the ceiling in half shadow. There's a flicker, a pulse, belief in the miracle of your own becoming. And then the quiet sabotage creeps in. A hesitation here, a missed call there, a sudden exhaustion that coats everything in fog. Why does it keep happening? Maybe it started in childhood, maybe it isn't even yours. Maybe you learned to want with one hand and push away with the other. Safety, then longing, then guilt, then hope again. No one taught you how to trust the yes after the wanting. No one showed you how to rest in the goodness you call in. So you learned to chase. You learned to run circles around enough. Your soul aches to receive without flinching, to cross the invisible finish line and finally feel the quiet of being home within yourself. But the loop feels safer than the leap. The familiar ache is somehow easier than the unknown healing. So each night you whisper new vows to the moon. I will stop running. I will welcome the abundance that is waiting for me, as if the pattern could unwind while you sleep. But rinse and repeat. Days move, years slide gentle. Ache becomes a feature, not a flaw. Still, deep down, you know there must be a gentler way through. All those nights you've stared at your own sailing, all those starts and stops, they are not proof you are broken. They are invitations to look closer, to see where the river bends, to notice the shape of the dam you built with your own hands. Every loop is a message. Each time you boomerang back to the ache, it's your soul knocking, asking, can I trust myself to have what I want? Tonight, breathe softer. Whatever circles you find yourself in, what matters is the tenderness you bring to the noticing. The ache is not the enemy. The longing is evidence you are alive. You are seen even when you circle back to old patterns in the night. Some part of you is already unraveling the loop, slowly, like dawn passing through a clouded window, making space for what you've always deserved. Soul, there's a gentle truth that finds you tonight. You never have to labor to become what you already are. Let that find the softest part of you, the place that aches when you try so hard to prove, to become, to belong. There is a birthright blooming in you before you ever speak or act or offer a thing to the world. The quietest parts of your being were already written into the sky. You do not need to beg the stars for the shape of your own light. There is nothing to earn when what you are cannot be lost. Why does this matter? Because the world, with all its noise and games, will talk you into forgetting. It will seduce you to run faster, reach higher, stay in motion for love, for safety, for a sense of place. But that deep exhaustion, that ache in your bones when you finally pause, it's your soul remembering that you already belong right here, right now. Nothing and no one can uproot you from your own sky. It's like the ocean never trying to be wet. It's like a wildflower never apologizing for its color. It's like the breath that arrives in you each morning, needing no permission, bringing life without fanfare or proof. Now let this settle, let it be true for you tonight. And under that layer, another gentle remembering emerges. You are not required to justify your existence. You breathing quietly in the dark. You feeling too much, dreaming in secret, hoping when you're not supposed to. Why does this matter to the marrow of your spirit? Because every story of worth, every ancient myth or song was built on the lie that you need to do more, be more, impress the old gods of enoughness. But the soul knows, a silent, golden knowing. The art you make with your living, simply being, is holy, even when nothing gets done. The stardust in your body does not tally up your proof. It's like a baby curling softly into a parent's arms, precious not for anything done, but because they exist. It's like a melody, hummed for no audience but the one who needs it most. A song that matters only because someone felt it somewhere once. It's like the hush before a sunrise, the world holding its breath, loving the coming light without asking for a reason. Let all that runs deeper than logic be welcome here. Still deeper, there's a third truth drifting up from your roots. You cannot unbe what you are. Not by forgetting, not by failing, not by drifting or breaking or shrinking down small. What's true is immortal, a sacred code in your bones, a signature love remembers. There will be days when you cannot feel it. There will be nights like this one when you ache for the map. But what was stitched into you does not depend on your belief or effort. Why does this matter? Because safety is not earned, it's remembered. Because freedom is not a reward but a dwelling place. Because chasing yourself is a myth that kept you tired, searching for your own eyes. Tonight you are gathered home, all of you. You are not lost. It's like an old oak tree, which does not cease to be an oak in the winter, leafless, unrecognizable even to its own memories. It's like a name, quietly written in the dark, unspoken but indelible, recognized by the heart that calls it. It's like the North Star, shining on whether you remember to look up, whether you call it by name, whether you believe the night holds anything for you at all. Let yourself breathe, no striving, no earning. The quietest abundance is utterly, utterly yours. Always was. Doubt rises quietly sometimes, like a fog drifting into a quiet morning, tender, hesitant, almost shy. The world taught you to curse its lack of clarity, to see hesitation as a flaw or a crack in your becoming. But what if your doubt is the softest map, pressed into trembling palms by your own soul, guiding you not away from truth, but toward the place inside where longing and wisdom sit at the same wild table? First, let's gentle the idea, doubt as a map, not a mistake. Hear that not as a lesson, but as a sigh, a loosening. Imagine a child standing barefoot at the edge of a mysterious forest, heart pounding in curiosity. The path isn't colored in, the trees lean in secret, the next step wrapped in mist. Doubt doesn't whisper, run back. Doubt says, pause, feel your way. Why does this matter deeply? Because so many of your tenderest truths hide not behind confidence, but in the open palms of your uncertainty. If you run from doubt, bury it, shame it, muscle past it, you miss the secret trail to wonder, the unmarked crossing each soul must pass. The ache to sidestep discomfort is a familiar ache, but what if you honored every moment you felt unsure, as if mapping uncharted constellations in your own night sky? Let's sit with the first reflection. You picture a painter pausing before a blank canvas. The brush hovers not from lack of inspiration, but because something holy is about to take shape, and the pause is the birthplace of beauty. Doubt is the inhale before the masterpiece, the question that births color from silence. Next, feel it as a traveler on a winding mountain path, storm clouds gathering. Doubt flutters in her chest, not because she's lost hope, but because the path bends and she must slow to notice the way wildflowers bloom, luminous in unexpected cracks. Her uncertainty teaches her to listen, not just see, but sense the world. Finally, close your eyes and remember a moment when you teetered at the edge of speaking your truth. Your voice wobbled, your stomach tightened, and your mind filled in stories. That was not a mistake. The quivering doubt was a compass, realigning you with what you loved most, the truth you would not dare speak unless it mattered deeply. Every tremor makes your voice more honest. Now another round, 1.3 mirrors. The shape of doubt is sacred. It points to thresholds, to invitations you have not yet accepted. It matters because life lives in the spaces between knowing and leaping. If you wait for certainty, your heart will gather dust on the shelf. But if you move with doubt, gentling it in your pocket, you become a living, breathing question mark in love with the unfolding. The moon, cradled by clouds, rarely shines unfettered. She is veiled, then revealed, dancing with shadow and silver. Her radiance is all the more luminous for the times she hides. Your doubt, too, is the veil that makes your clarity holy. A river, unsure of its next bend, follows the slope of land, trusting the gravity of its own becoming. It does not curse the rocks, it carves a song around each obstacle because the detour is its destiny. Your doubt honored makes you more alive, a river learning its own name. The heart, learning to love again, flinches at the memory of pain. Doubt is not a punishment, it marks the site of a new beginning. Each hesitation is a signal that what follows matters deeply. The risk is a testament to value, not a mark of failure. And for a third time we circle back. Doubt arrives as soft thunder in an open field. It wants you to listen, not run. It matters because doubt is the only way to feel your edges, to know where the old you ends and the new you yearns to be born. Without that sacred trembling, you would never know how much growth aches and delights. A gardener, kneeling in early spring, wonders if her buried seeds will rise. Doubt is in the earth, in her fingernails. Yet still she surrenders to tending, believing in life that stirs below the surface. A musician, hands hovering over silent keys, wonders if her song is needed. The pause makes the next note pure. In that moment of doubt, the heart chooses to risk expression over safety, and something sacred enters the room. And you, lying in the quiet dark, listening to your own breathing, wonder if light will find you here. Doubt is not darkness itself. It is the door you open gently, the threshold you cross each night, so that you may awaken as more than you were before. Doubt is a map, not a mistake. Let its quiet invitation find you tonight and lead you softly, ever deeper into the wild clarity you came here to remember. You remember the ache of longing, how it hums quietly beneath even your calmest days. There is something in you older than memory, truer than language, that wants to receive. Not as a reward, not because you hustled or proved your worth, but simply because you are here, breathing, part of this woven universe. Receiving is not a trick of luck or a test to pass. It is your oldest, simplest rhythm. Sometimes you forget. Maybe the world told you to keep your hands folded, your needs hidden, your hunger tucked away where nobody else would feel it. Maybe you believed that wanting meant weakness, that asking was dangerous, that fullness was rare or fleeting. But if you close your eyes and listen, there is a quiet truth rising up from your chest, the remembrance that receiving is not selfish. It's not the opposite of giving. It is the riverbank needing water, leaf needing sun, ocean needing moon. The first heartbeat you ever felt was a gift. When you reclaim this rhythm, this trust that receiving is your birthright, everything inside you softens. You breathe deeper, your shoulders loosen, the fight quiets. Why does this matter? Because to deny yourself gentle receiving is to ask the soil not to hold the seed. It is to ask the dawn not to come for you. Without nourishing what's inside, how will you become who you are called to be, not just for you, but for everyone around you? What if your exhale is someone else's fresh inhale? Receiving can look 1,000 ways, all holy. Sometimes it's letting tears spill on the kitchen tile late at night, letting your body say, "I cannot do it all." Sometimes it's the hush of being seen when you'd rather disappear. It might be the miraculous ordinariness of letting your friend buy you coffee, or letting your mind rest guilt-free at the end of a tangled day. Other times, receiving is bolder. The job offer you don't feel ready for. The warmth of a compliment you suspect you didn't earn. The feeling of being held when you thought you had to hold yourself up forever. Each moment, if you let it, begins to sound the same note you are allowed to receive. The world is never depleted by your fullness. Again and again, the invitation comes softly, like rain persisting on parched earth. What grows, grows because it dared to open, dared to call itself worthy. You are wired for this. Opening is not a risk, it's a remembering. You might need to practice, to let yourself be met, to linger in gentle yes. Like the way a sunflower tips toward daylight, like breath finds the body while you sleep, like children reach for comfort without apology or plan. These small things are reminders. Your receiving is a ceremony. Tonight, let each inhale deepen the trust that there is more for you, more beauty, more belonging, more ease, more gentle abundance than you have yet allowed yourself to hold. The rhythm of receiving is not just permission, but necessity. The universe is generous, aching for your yes. Let the wisdom of this birthright move into the tender spaces that feel hardened or unworthy. Let it touch the old stories of lack, of having to earn rest, of carrying the world alone. Let it wash against those boundaries like soft tide on stone, patient, a little at a time, until even you can't help but lean toward what's meant for you, arms open, heart open, awake again to the sacred, simple rhythm of receiving. In the moon-soaked quiet, you notice the hush inside your body is a kind of wild new earth. Roots drinking deep after rain, soft ground that holds what once drowned in uncertainty. There's an unfamiliar spaciousness beneath your skin, the architecture of a self that's allowed to rest, more than just survive. You remember all the years you've worn sharpness like armor, bracing even as you slept, a tight-jawed, heart half-closed. How slowly a heart unlearns vigilance, how gentle a season must be before the garden trusts the sun again. Tonight it's different. Your bones seem to sigh open, tension yielding to something like permission. A river within you changes course, flowing not for escape, but simply because water must move. There's wisdom here, not the kind that shouts or instructs, but the ancient truth that moths know. It's safe to turn towards soft light. Your body remembers this, how worth is not a prize to be earned, but a warmth you soak in, instinctively, the way breath happens on the edge of dreaming. You sense your worth is not fragile, not something the world can touch or take. It rises like breath in the dark, effortless, rhythmic. Each inhale a subtle reminder, I exist and that is enough. Safety has a flavor you nearly forgot, like the scent of rain on warm stones or the hush after a storm passes through when the air hums with relief. Let yourself rest in this new weather, outside and within, every cell unwinding from old alarms, finding a current of softness where you used to brace. There is no hurry here, only the slow blooming of trust, like dawn finding its way through a forest. Sometimes the only work left is to notice how open you've become, to marvel at the tender ground inside you now, quiet, lush, alive. Somewhere beneath thought, a deeper knowing unfolds, that safety is not a gate you force or a burden you must prove worthy to carry. It's the softest, simplest return, the world letting you belong ease by ease. It's okay if your heart doesn't quite know how to relax into this newness yet. Integration is patient, like seasons changing underground. The roots grow before the shoots ever break the surface. You're allowed to linger in this gentle in-between, a little raw, a little dazzled by the peace you've found. Tonight you are the tender field after the storm, soft, spacious, already holding everything you once reached and ached for. Close your eyes or let them drift to half-mast, heavy with yearning and trust. Your body sinks, an ancient boat riding gentle tides back and forth, memory to intention, intention to memory, carried so kindly by the softest current beneath. Imagine a vast